Hey there, hey there. Okay, so I have something crazy I need to tell you, but I have to keep it kind of quiet because, well, it's an unraveling story. Okay, so it's still kind of important, and I don't know who might be listening, and there's parts of the story that personally, I'm not super proud of the things I did. So I occasionally I might lean in, and whisper things a little bit quieter. But I want you to pay attention the whole time because the story is very important, and the things that happen in it are very important. So okay, do you have a minute? Because it's going to take me a little bit of time. It's a lot happened. I'll try to condense it as best I can, but okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Because I need you to be focused. I need you to, because I don't know if I can handle this all on my own. This is a lot to unpack, okay? Okay, so anyway, you know how I was going on that ski trip up to the Rocky Mountains. Yes, I know. I do ski occasionally, okay? I know how to ski. Okay, but anyway, I was going up the Rocky Mountains, right? Where it's not incredibly important, and like I said, I don't know who might be listening. I don't want them to know the precise location. Okay, well, if you want to know, then I'll tell you exactly where it is. It's and like okay, so like okay, so that's where it is. That's where we start the story, okay? That's where I was. Okay, so I was skiing down the mountain. I'm going breakneck pace, okay? Because you know me. I gotta go fast. I gotta ski fast. I was probably going in the realm of 3,000 to 4,000 miles per hour, I think, roughly speaking. So, I'm going down that mountain. I'm going quick. Then all of a sudden, something catches my eye, so I slow down. I bring it down to like maybe 2,000 miles per hour just so I can get a look as I pass it. And you're never going to believe what I saw. So as I take my glance, I see so I stop. I'm like, I have to know what's going on. So what I do is I redirect my speed. I get back up to my full speed, 3,000 to 4,000 miles per hour. I get back up to my full speed and I ramp around. So now I'm going back up the mountain now. And that's just one of the advantages to skiing fast is that you can go back up the mountain if you're skilled enough. But anyway, so I'm going back up and I quickly make it back to that spot. And I stop and I check out what's going on there because, I'm bewildered. Immediately I'm bewildered. So I'm looking around. There's a bunch of trees because, it's the Rocky Mountains. So, I find this one tree and it's roughly close to where I saw the gibbon. And, he's gone now. At least I think it was a he. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know my gibbon anatomy perfectly. I'm still studying up on it. I'm trying. I'm improving. But, as of currently, I'm not capable of telling, discerning the male from the female quite yet. Especially not at such a brief glance, Like I said, I was going 2,000 miles an hour at the moment when I saw it. So, it was a little blurry. But anyway, I was pretty confident it was by this tree. And so I inspect the tree and I find that one of the pieces of bark, like the gnarled bark, one of the pieces you can like press it. And so I press this piece of bark. And so like what happens, and like start burning, and then like so, and then start going down, and I'm like I'm at this point I have to like so it's I'm not sure. So like I'm sure you can understand where I'm going with this, but I was like, well, I mean, this has to be where the gibbon went. He was there 1 second, gone the next. There's no other option. So if it's safe for the gibbon, it's probably safe for me. So I take a chance. And little did I know that this chance would end up being one of the craziest things I'd ever done. I mean, I guess I should have known, because I know how often does like a random thing just like open up in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. But, at the time, I wasn't really thinking much of it. I was just kind of going off pure instinct. And I was just like, okay, well, I got to check it out, why not? So I'm going down there. I'm going down here. And as I descend, the noise starts getting louder. I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The noise of a gibbon is very unique. It's almost like a mix between like a frog and a human being. They're very interesting creatures. But I don't have to tell you that. I mean, we're both, aspiring gibbon researchers. So, of course, I don't need to tell you that. I don't even know why I mentioned that right now. But as I'm getting deeper, the noise is getting louder. And I'm starting to get a little worried at this point because, I don't know how they're going to react. I haven't gotten to that part of the research yet. I'm still, I'm still working on the other aspects of gibbon nature. So I don't know their violent tendencies, if they are more territorial, but I mean, I can tell that we're getting close to what seems like potentially, as I was going closer, it was sounding, from like the resources I've studied, it was sounding a lot like, millions perhaps of gibbons. And, I consider myself, I think I have the physical ability to fight off maybe 700,000. But, you stretch it a little bit beyond that, and I think I'm really going to start to struggle to defend myself. So I'm really starting to get worried, But I still haven't actually visually identified what's going on. So I'm coming down. And when your vision, it starts to, as you crest over the opening and you can start to see, I saw the craziest thing. Okay, are you ready? So it's just like it's I'm pretty sure that this way. And so like and then I do it and so it was pretty. So as you can tell, that's why I want to keep it pretty secret, because I don't want that getting out. But I know I can trust you with my secrets because, we're close friends and we share a common interest in gibbons. So yeah, I mean, it was baffling. Honestly, I couldn't believe my eyes. And they accepted me as one of their own, which was really nice to see and very relieving, because as soon as I realized how many there were, I knew I had no chance. It was well beyond even what I had pictured in my mind before I had visually confirmed what I was seeing. So if push had come to shove, and I had to go in, arms ablazing, I don't think I could have made it out of there. Well, I say I don't think. I know I couldn't have made it out of there. There were a lot. In fact, that's why I've come to you with the story, because I know you'll appreciate this in the same way that I can. But it was too many. It was too many. To to a concerning degree. I know we've both done research on the number of gibbons on this planet, and this exceeded that estimate by, quite a lot. So, here's what I'm thinking. Sorry, I didn't mean to slap you in the face right there. Here's what I'm thinking. But hear me. I mean, just let me get this off my chest. I know. You're probably going to have your own theories, but let me get this off my chest, just so that it can be said. We can both exchange ideas. And trust me, this all happened. This was all very real. So don't think I'm bullshitting you. Okay, this was real. So this is my theory. Okay, so I'm thinking, and it's like it just. I'm thinking probably like there was probably and so like yeah, I'm thinking what they're doing. It's like maybe. I also have another theory that could be. I'm a bit more confident in that first theory, as I'm sure you can agree with me. But the second theory is probably not too far off, potentially, either. I mean, it really could go either way. Now, before you start spewing your theories to me about what you think it could be, I think it's important that we both potentially return to the location where this all happened, if we can find it again. Now, see, that's the thing. That's where the story gets a little bit confusing. So, I originally came down in the Rocky Mountains. I was at the ski resort there, and I happened to be skiing alone when I saw it. It almost makes me wonder if they intended, the Gibbons, of course, intended for me to witness it, knowing who I was. If only maybe this was part of the start of their plan. If they have a plan, I'm not 100% sure. But either way, when I went down there, I was in the Rocky Mountains. They carried me across them like I was wave surfing, and that went on for hours and hours. I just millions of them, right? And when I came back up, I was in Hawaii, right? So you have to imagine here. Rocky Mountains to Hawaii, continuous sea of gibbons. Now, I'm running the calculations myself, and I'd like you to double verify. But we're talking about potentially anywhere from like 7 to 300 trillion gibbons. It's a lot of gibbons. It was also impossible for me to tell how deeply they were stacked. It was definitely more than a single layer, just to throw that out there. So I know that's why I made an estimate range, because I can't say for certain how many, how deep they were. But yeah, so that was a whole thing. I came back up. It was Hawaii, and wouldn't you guess it? But who was there waiting for me? I mean, when I came back, it was just like. So I'm like, no, I didn't just, crowd surf over a massive sea of gibbons or anything from the Rocky Mountains. So that's ridiculous. I think I played it pretty cool. I don't think they suspected anything, but they did ask me to follow them. So I got into their truck, and they drove me to this facility. The facility's name was something like... And so I was like, okay, well, that's weird. they took me in. And we went into this like it was like a elevator before a car. And so they drove in, and we were still in the truck, and then the elevator started to lower. And we lowered into this chamber. And what do you know? The natural enemy of the gibbon. So clearly they knew something, right? There's no reason for a government organization to amass an army like that, directly counteractive to the gibbons that I had stumbled upon just earlier. I mean, you just wouldn't do that unless you were aware of the gibbon presence that was somewhere buried deep under the ground. So here's what I'm thinking. That's why this gets even more complex than it already is. So I'm thinking the government. That would be like, I don't know, each person fighting like 100 million gibbons. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. So but that's just my theory. I don't know at this point. It's still a bit too early for me to know. But anyway, so they showed me this thing. Millions of them. Potentially more than even the gibbons, because they were smaller, Of course they're smaller. I mean, gibbons aren't big. Everyone knows they're lesser apes because they're small, which both of us have talked about as bullshit, but that's the way it is. So, I mean, we can't change that. So gibbons are a little bit smaller, but these were a lot smaller. And, it seemed like the room was potentially around the same size, so potentially even more of these than the gibbons that I had seen earlier. So, there was that, and it was pretty concerning because, as I was leaving, they looked at me and they said, so I hope you appreciate what I'm doing here, because this is a pretty big risk. That's a lot at stake just to break the rules and just tell you anyway. It's no small task. It's a lot to ask, but I know, or at least I would hope, that if the roles were reversed, you would have done the same for me. So that's why I'm doing this for you, because I think it's the right thing to do. But that being said, I think we need to create some kind of plan, some kind of way we can go forward from this, knowing what we know, and, come out on top, because that's really the important thing here. It seems like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be taken down by this, all right? This is going to be a big thing, all right? A lot of people are going down, and I don't want it to be us, all right? I want us to, somehow work our ways up to the top, I want us to take advantage of this situation, and I feel like we're in a position to maybe take advantage, because we know what we know, and we're poised ahead of the curve a bit here. But there was a big sign. There was a big sign when I went to the government facility that said, so seems like we might not have very long before this thing starts. So we need to think fast, and we need to align with the side, because, it's hard to tell which side is going to win here. Is it going to be the gibbons, or is it going to be the other ones, it's hard to tell, and we want to be aligned to the right side in order to come out on top, right? Now, obviously, if I'm being completely honest and transparent here, I'm leaning more towards the gibbons, personally. As a gibbon researcher, I have a lot of respect for the gibbon as an animal, and I'm just thinking just in terms of like our ability to contribute to that faction. I think it's higher than with the other one, just because I don't know a lot about that sort of thing. So I think we pose a greater benefit to the gibbon faction. So that's why my vote would be to join them personally. And also, it's bullshit that people say they're small, because they're not that small, and they're very capable animals. So I think even though they're outnumbered a little bit, potentially a lot, I think they can still hold their own. And I mean, have you seen the noise they can make? It's crazy. It's crazy. They've got like a whole like throat sack. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's my vote. Obviously, we can discuss it. We can talk about it. But there was one last thing, one last very important key element to all of this that ties it all together, brings it all together. And I think once you understand this, once you hear this, I think it's going to completely change your opinion of the entire situation. So listen very closely, because I have to be careful. They could be listening. Hopefully not, because if they are, then it's already too late. But anyway, but wait. I know. It's a lot to take in. And it's very concerning, and it kind of just flips the whole story upside down. So I don't know what to think, and I don't know what to think. That's why I'm coming to you, because you're more of the you're more the idea person. You're more the the thinker of this dynamic, of our dynamic duo. You're more the thinker. I'm more of the actor. That's why I was acting out my role of gibbon research in the Rocky Mountains in the first place, and you were here studying over the books and things. I was out living the life of a gibbon to really put myself in that mindset, while you were reading about it and theorizing about it. So we both bring our own things to the table, and I'd be really interested to know what you think. But again, we gotta go fast here. We gotta think fast, because I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm worried that it's going to happen before we're ready. But I'll give you some time. Because I can tell you need to mull it over a bit. So I understand it's a lot to, like I said, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to take in, I'm sure. So I'm going to give you some time. But yeah, I'll give you some time. Shoot me an email. Let me know what you think. How do you want to proceed? And we can go from there. But again, just have it in the back of your mind that we want to take advantage of this situation. Okay, we want to end up on top. All right. So you be the thinker. I'm gonna go back to the Rocky Mountains, and I'm gonna go ski again, because you never know. I might get a little bit more information. You never know. So you can stay here, mull over the books and the information, the story I've given you, and I'm gonna go back and go ski, because I got that information from skiing in the first place. So there's no saying that going back again wouldn't give us more information, and that could be really, really insightful, because never hurts to have more information. But anyway, thanks for listening to my story. I'm gonna go. But anyway, catch you later. Bye.